My problem here is this.
Action!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Church's Hollywood Moments with me, Thomas J. Churchill, a.k.a. Church, bringing you a full entertainment channel about movie making from mainstream to independent, all told through my eyes, a working Hollywood film director. This channel will have many behind-the-scenes aspects as well as film reviews and interviews. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel if this is the first time you're here. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. Today, we're going to talk about Horizon. One of the cool things that I noticed when I was doing my research on this film is that Kevin Costner stated he would never do another Western without the support of the indigenous community. And with that said, they were on set as technical advisors about their ancestors and the way things work, the way things happen. It's a story that you read about how we always look for that, and just to plant the flag and say, this is mine. Kind of built on hope for the American spirit. In reality, there were people here before us. And that's where the conflict took place. You can watch this movie and understand the conflict on both sides. I have to say, I read a lot about people hating this movie. What bothers me the most is I don't know why. Maybe they're angry that Kevin Costner is not part of Yellowstone anymore. As a filmmaker watching this movie, it was filled with emotions, and what this movie showcases is both sides to that equation. Director, writer, producer, star, Kevin Costner tells the story beautifully. You imagine living in that time where everything you owned is on a wagon or on a horse, and you're traveling to these territories because somebody told you, or you read it on a flyer, that there's a new life out there, a new town that you can have part of the so-called American dream and own something. People packed up their families and packed up their little lives, everything, and consolidated and traveled thousands of miles. The indigenous side of the equation, where who are these people coming in here now? What do they want? Are they going to take our food? Are they going to take our cattle or our horses, our women, our land? So they were protecting it. Kevin Costner tells that story beautifully in this movie. I don't understand when I read about it's boring. It is not boring. If you listen and watch this film and just sit there and focus on the story that this filmmaker is telling you, you'll get it. There's action throughout the film if that's what you're looking for, but there's not action every 5 minutes. It's character driven. We're learning about 3 groups of people. He can't tell you the whole story in one film. That's why he's doing 4. Chapter 1, Chapter 2. He's working on Chapter 3, which will probably be cut into Chapter 4 as well. Kevin Costner, despite what you feel about him as an actor, as a filmmaker, he is a very intelligent, smart filmmaker when it comes to the West. Thank you, Kevin Costner, for bringing another epic Western to the big screen for all of us to not only enjoy, to learn about the frontier, about the so-called Wild West. I always hear about everybody wants to see a Western, but nobody's supporting the Westerns. You need to go out and support the Westerns because it's such a great genre that it also has history completely built into it to not only to entertain, show us what it used to look like. Looking at the great frontier and this beautiful landscape before it was commercialized by corporations and housing and skyscrapers and theme parks, it was just this open, beautiful land that just was amazing to the eye. I don't know if you know, most Westerns are shot in Utah. There's a state park in Utah. Shooting it in state parks, there is no modern things because everything is still still preserved the way it was. And that is the beauty of what was captured in the lens for this movie. Most of it was practical, which is always a plus to me as a filmmaker. I feel he is the new John Ford of Westerns. I also feel that he is the new John Wayne. Of course, people would fight with me and say Clint Eastwood is an amazing filmmaker, made some great Westerns. And the cool thing is that they both cross paths in A Perfect World, where Clint directed Kevin in a modern day style Western. Both men are Oscar-winning directors. Both men won Oscars for their take on the West. Kevin, this is his fourth directorial film. Started off in 1990 with Dances with Wolves, where he produced and directed and starred in this film, and everybody gave him crap about that. He was taking a big risk because he was only in the business 10 years, so to speak, getting his start in 80, 81 with these little tiny roles here and there, but he didn't really truly hit it big until The Big Chill. You ask yourself, he was in The Big Chill? Yes, he was, but he was cut out of it. But he is the body the group goes and pays tribute to and celebrates his life. That was Kevin Costner. I think it's the same year in Silverado, where he's part of an ensemble, another great Western. After that, he pops up with The Untouchables and Bull Durham, Field of Dreams. In 1990, he hits a home run with Dances with Wolves. Then he does a bunch of acting and producing gigs, Robin Hood and everything else that comes after that. But in 1997, he goes behind the camera again in The Postman. Apocalyptic type of story, kind of like a Western, but it's different. That had its moments in the film. Was it a perfect film? No. And then he comes back in 2003 with Open Range. If you haven't seen Open Range, Kevin Costner, Robert Duvall, go check it out. But I have to say, Horizon, the man who co-wrote the script, produced the film, directed the film, stars in the film, and put up a lot of his own money in the film. That is called dedication that honestly believes in their craft and in their story. As a filmmaker, you do that even though they say rule number 1, don't put up your own money. Actually, rule number 2, don't put up your own money. Rule number 1 is you don't fall in love with your work. That's different. That's a filmmaking thing. There's a different lesson in a different episode of a different video. What I liked about this movie was the pacing. It runs about 3 hours. You don't even see Kevin Costner until maybe the first hour and change. We're learning about these stories, these 3 storylines that are going to interact throughout the series of Horizon. And you're investing in the characters. The cast is just fantastic. There's a who's who that worked with him on some of his past films. My problem here is this. The fans. You guys love Kevin Costner because you expressed it when he was on Yellowstone. #1 show that was on television. And I don't understand, but nobody goes out and goes sees this film or doesn't support this movie. This movie needs your support, people. If you are like me, who believes in that spirit of we can do better, we can get there. It's a lot of hard work, but we can accomplish our goals, whether it's coming to this country legally, finding your space, your piece of the American dream. This movie's for you because there's a lot of hard work that goes into that. And again, the reality is this country wasn't ours. Any country was built on war and violence and tragedy. Addressing that in this film is told beautifully. There's a heartfelt battle where the cultures clash and it's just emotional. Families on both sides being killed just for doing what they believe in. Mr. Costner, Kevin, baby, booby, to me, you're a true filmmaker. I have to say bravo, because I think what you did in this film set your land. Again, whatever side you were on, this was truly hard to watch, but worth it. Go check out Horizon. Go see this movie. Understand it and let it sink in what our true ancestors went through against the native ancestors. I'm going to give Horizon on a scale of 1 to 5. You know what? I'm going to give it a 5 because I felt moved. The epic scale of this Western, of this story, was just so impactful that I thought Kevin Costner and the entire team did fantastic. The locations were just breathtaking. The stunts was fantastic. I feel like you all need to go check this movie out. Again, you're not going to get told the entire movie in chapter 1. And that's what I'm reading. People are upset that they're not being told the whole movie. Understand that it's chapter 1. Don't be such in a hurry to get that instant gratification on a story. Invest in it. Watch it. Learn it. Understand understand it, and then treat your fellow Americans right. I was really excited to see it because during the Cannes Film Festival, Horizon got a 10-minute standing ovation. I'm going to get choked up. Watching Kevin Costner standing there, getting emotional while this crowded theater stands there for 10 minutes applauding him and giving him a standing ovation for a film that has an ensemble cast that everybody in that film was fantastic. And it got me excited to want to see this type of epic film on a big screen. Everyone that grew up in the 80s, fans of Kevin Costner, go check him out. Everybody that grew up after 2000, you got to learn history and understand history. You can be angry when you watch this movie, but go and watch this movie. And that's a wrap on another episode of Church's Hollywood Moments with me, Thomas J. Churchill, aka Church. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like my videos, hit that notification button so this way, anytime I post a video, whatever it is, you'll get notified and come join me again. We'll see you soon. Take care. 3, 2, 1, move!